Hi, everybody, and we are live. Right, I think that'll do. I'm hoping you can hear me. Hello, Gayla. How are you doing? Hi, Solar Winds. I'm glad you could make it today. And hello to Tracy. Oh, Tracy, is that me you mean? Am I like a, are you talking about me? I'm like a cool aunt. Well, that's a compliment if you're talking about me. Oh, it's Marie. Hi, Marie and Sandy. How are you doing, guys? And Woo Woo, of course. I was wondering if you would pop on. And hi to Mila or Mila in Florida. How lucky you guys are to be in such beautiful places. Well, it's great to be here because I've had a not so great few days, to be honest, and I'll get more into that. But I'm here and I'm still kicking and I'm still doing my cross stitch as you do. My boo-boo. Oh, you mean my boo-boo? Which boo-boo do you mean? I've got so many boo-boos. Hello, Susan. Nice to see you too. Oh, Tracy, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were talking about me, but thank you. I'd like nothing more than to sit down and have a cup of tea with you lovely ladies. That would be fantastic for me because I don't get to stitch with anybody. And my husband used to. Well, he didn't mind doing a bit of stitching every so often, but not at the same kind of pace that we do. So yeah, there's nobody to really stitch with. It's not a great big thing here in Scotland. Well, at least in the city, it's not. I think you'd have to find like a cross stitch club or something. Marie, yes, my injury. Okay, well, I better start doing a bit of stitching because if anybody's come here for the stitching, they'll be disappointed if I don't. So what happened to me was that I think I was supposed to be doing the stream on either the Thursday or the Friday, and I think it was the Wednesday afternoon. I had been out with my son, and I don't know what happened. I mean, I was fine walking around one minute, and the next minute I was not fine walking around. And the bottom of my foot was getting increasingly more painful. And by the time I got home and I took my shoe off, I had a bump under my foot. So there was some kind of injury there anyway. So nothing serious, but it's enough to make you have to be hobbling around for a few days. And it was painful for a couple of days. And I just didn't want to be here and try to pretend to be okay, if you know what I mean. It doesn't feel genuine to me to be like, yeah, everything's grand, everything's great when it's really not. So I'd been dosed up on painkillers and it's actually a lot better now. It's like the little tiny swelling has gone down and it's not descended into anything worse because you know you have to keep an eye on these things. So yeah, it's better today and I can actually walk around now I still have to wear like padded slippers because if I walk on a hard floor, it'll hurt. So, unfortunately, these things happen and you can't predict when, these little things are going to happen. Um, I think I've missed what a few people have said now. Hang on a second. Who have I missed? No, I've said hello to everybody and to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I'm glad you could make it. And Laurie. Forgive me if I miss anybody out because I haven't got my distance glasses and the screen's a little bit further back than I need it to be. So I'm kind of squinting a bit to see the chat. But if it's too close, it's going to be in the way of all my equipment, so I can't really. It's like some things work and other things don't. But yeah, I'm fine now. Thanks for asking. And it's not completely gone. It's going to take a week or two, but it was enough to kind of throw me off in a way. So for those who don't know, I've got here Riverwalk Charm, and it is my biggest piece, as in size, design wise. I feel like I've been working on this a whole lifetime already. I know I haven't, obviously, but it feels like that. And I've decided to try and finish a page. So if you look at this blue line here, I've got surrounding this corner. There was a lot less of this filled in earlier this week. And I had been chatting away to, her name is Dark Cross Stitch. She's also a floss tuber. And I'd been chatting to her and I said, why don't we challenge ourselves to do 500 a day for, I think it was for about 6 days until the end of the month. And then we could just get some more progress. And she's working on Lord of the Rings. So she's, I think she's, well, yeah, she is. She's definitely monogamous now on her piece. I am not monogamous on my pieces. But I have sort of cut down how many I'm doing. And sorry, I feel a bit discombobulated today. I don't know what's going on. Miley says, I know how you feel with your foot. I messed up my ankle while digging a hole to plant a red maple tree with hubby, holding it for 2 days. Oh God, yeah, it's like, it's just such a horrible thing because I don't even know what happened. I was walking up a hill, but it wasn't like a hill that was made of grass or muddy or like a cliff. It was just a normal pavement, sidewalk, as you'd call it. But it was just going up a slope. So I don't know. It might have even been the tiniest thing. But feet tend to complain a lot. And sometimes I find that if I twist my foot the wrong way, I start hobbling as I'm going along. And my son, bless him, he's young. He doesn't have the patience to wait for me. He does try, but you can see he gets a bit irritated because I'm so slow. But anyway, he was very patient that time because I said to him, listen, do not run on ahead. I need you here in case I can't walk at all. So he was quite patient with me. But yeah, my foot was just, the sole of my foot was just screaming. But it's not like anything got into it or dug into it or anything. I think it's like I think it's what I looked up. It's like called a stone bruise or an internal bruise. I don't know. Anyway, it's getting better, and that's all I care about really. But yeah, it's been a couple of days of feeling a bit miserable. And then I think, for goodness sake, it's only a foot. It's not like a major thing. But you'd be surprised how even the smallest thing can throw you off track and really change your mood, because I was in such a good mood, and then when that happened I was like, oh God, do I really need this now, you know? Anyway, c'est la vie. You can never predict what's coming next. You just got to take things as they happen, is what I say to myself now. Maybe that's a bit of an anti-phrase as well. Take things as they happen. um Hello, Leslie. How are you? Mila says there was a 1 inch thick tree root from the old tree in the ground, and the shovel was sitting on top of it. Oh my goodness. And I didn't know it slammed my foot into the shovel. Oh gosh, that sounds so painful. I'm so sorry. It just does sound painful. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I hope you're better. Hi, Rivers Love. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you all, guys, for joining me. I have to keep remembering to stitch. Because that is what I came here for. So this is 25 count half stitch, and it's 2 strands over one. It goes really quickly because I'm doing the half stitch, and I can fill this in quite quickly without a problem, unless of course it's really confetti, and then it's not so quick. I think I just need a little drink. I wonder if you can spot a certain cat lying up there on top of her tree. I think she's facing the wall at the moment. I'm glad that she's not too excitable. Too excited at the moment because she might jump on top of me, and it would just be chaos if she does that, because I've got so many things pointing towards me and pointing towards the canvas. So yeah, onwards and upwards, guys. Nothing's going to stop me stitching anyway. The only thing that would stop me stitching is not being able to see, and touch wood. My eyesight's pretty good at the moment. It seems to have its days as well, but it seems to be okay. It's not declining rapidly, thank goodness. Because I would be so disappointed if I couldn't stitch at all. I really would. But I think we're okay on that one. So what else has happened? Has anything else happened? Not really. I've got some people coming up to do some, it's not really renovations, but I'm having a new flooring put into my hallway just outside that door behind me, which is a long hallway. And I'm having some flooring put inside here. So I'm getting some wooden boards put down, because what we've got at the moment is what we've got when we moved in 3 years ago, and it's not in a good state. So we need to get, it's part of upgrade and maintenance and stuff like that, but it's really going to throw us out because we live in an apartment, so it's hard to kind of not be in the way when they're doing works and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to have to put the cat into the bedroom, I think. And just, well, she'll be fine because she's a bit timid anyway. She doesn't really want to go near people that she doesn't know, or if there's any noises while she's sleeping or something, she hears a noise, she'll kind of hide a bit. She's a bit of a timid cat. She's not brave at all. So if she hears people coming in making loads of noise, she'll run and hide under the bed, which is fine because I don't really want her to get in the way when they start doing things. So that'll be next week. So hopefully my foot will be, healed by that point, because I don't want to be hobbling around either, to be honest, when there's people around. Laurie says, I have a large piece, 488,600 stitches. Oh my word. That I decided to do intent as well. I thought it would save time. It will be my 10-year stitch. And do you think it saves time? I think it does actually save time. But I also think that if people don't like tent stitch, they shouldn't do it. Because to be stitching is to be enjoying it. And if you're not enjoying it, then it's pointless anyway, no matter what time you give it or how long it takes or doesn't take. To be doing anything that you don't enjoy, I think, needs to be given more thought. That's kind of something that I've thought, well, I kind of understand that more as I've got older. When I was younger, which was not that long ago, ladies, when I was younger, I used to do everything and stuff, and even if I didn't enjoy it, I'd just do it anyway because I thought it was cool or trendy, or because people were doing it and I wanted to get in with the people that were doing it, and I wanted to look like part of the gang, or whatever reason. I'd be like, yeah, I'm having a great time, doing something, horse riding, even though I didn't enjoy it. Now, as I've got older, I'm just like, hell no. I'm not doing a single thing that I don't have to do or that I don't enjoy. I'm just not doing it. And I think that sort of understanding comes with maturity, and not because time is running out, but because we know how we kind of learn to satisfy ourselves better than when we were younger. Yeah, I was frivolous when I was younger, did silly things. um I love 10 stitch, but sometimes I feel a bit judged by other stitchers. Don't be feeling judged by other stitchers. Nothing really matters what anybody says, whatever you do that you enjoy. I used to get really upset about nasty comments, things like that. Really don't care anymore. words words are just words, you know. And I think it's absolutely fine for people to say, I don't like 10 stitch. I don't think it's for me. But I don't think it's fine for people to say you shouldn't do 10 stitch, because I don't think it's fine to dictate to anybody what they should or shouldn't be doing in their hobby, you know. I think I've said this before in a different stream, that if I wanted to stitch one strand on, I don't know, 11 count, sitting upside down with a pineapple on my head, that's what I'm going to do. And if people don't like it, just don't watch. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Not that I try stitching that way, to be honest. So for me, judgment is, can judge, but it just flies over me if it's not something I want to do. I sort of only do 10 stitch now myself, yeah, I think, unless it's one of those kits that you have to do some part of it in tent and some part of it in full crosses. And we know what those are like. They just switch and change all the time. What I do find myself doing a lot is flitting around. I do find myself flitting between this, that, and the other. And I don't know why that is. I think, again, it's just a mood thing. It's just sometimes you're in the mood for A, B, or C, and it just depends. You just pick up whatever it is you're in the mood for. Sometimes I want something dark, and sometimes I want something bright and colourful. I think that's kind of normal. But I don't get tired. I don't get tired of doing the full coverage. Sometimes I think I'd like to get more progress on a certain thing, but then I just end up swapping out anyway. So sometimes you don't have to listen to yourself. Because I don't know. Sometimes I think stuff that I think you're really just muddling yourself up for nothing. Just do what you want. That would be a hilarious video. Are you saying the one where I'm sitting upside down with a pineapple on my head and stitching? Yeah, that would be pretty hilarious. It might even go viral, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever had a viral video. Don't think, first of all, I would be able to even get upside down very easily. I'd have to try and figure that one out. Solar Winds says, when people judge me, I just think I'm retired. They are not paying me enough to care. Yeah, exactly. If you're getting paid for something, then you take a bit more, pay a bit more attention to what people are saying, and, think about what it is you're doing or that you're promoting, stuff like that. But if it's your own hobby, then yeah, God, who cares what you do? Just everybody's got so many different ways of doing things now. I rather like that everybody does things so differently, because it gives you a nice, I mean, how boring would it be if everybody did 1/1 full cross in a diagonal and nobody ever did anything any differently whatsoever? How boring would that be to watch day after day, year after year, watching people do the exact same thing? that would be pretty boring. So I love that people come up with new ideas and techniques and methods and let's stitch this way and that way. And, I think it's just very creative and interesting. And you take it or you leave it for yourself, that is. And sometimes I do the rows and sometimes I do the cross country, and it just really depends on how I feel. And I'm quite happy with that. No need to make it more or less complicated than it is. Although I understand that when people first come into this hobby, that get overwhelmed with so many different methods and they don't know which is the right one for them. That can be a bit of a stress. Like, I don't know if I like 25 count. I don't know what count it is I want to do. I don't even know what some people don't even know what full, if they even want to do full coverage, you just don't really know. And that can be a bit stressful trying to have that patience to try everything to get to that point where you can say, aha, this is me. This is what I like. That can take years, actually, like painting. How many times do people paint things for years without even really knowing what their own personal style is? They just have to keep on experimenting in different mediums, different styles before they can carve out something of their own. I've done a lot of drawing now and then, and I still don't really know exactly what my style is. Solar Wind says, I found 10 stitch to be much faster, but the stitches were too big to get good coverage. I'll do it on 20k count on the restart. I think I tried 2 strands tent on 28 count at some point, and I thought it would be too bulky for me, too difficult to get the needle in. Sometimes it's even difficult to get the needle in here on the 25 count when it's like crazy confetti. It just drives me nuts sometimes. I just think I'm never going to be able to get out of and that the back looks like, I don't know what, like a rug. And I don't carry far either, so I try not to carry far so that I can limit the amount of threads that are crossing at the back. I think when I started this piece, it looked pretty crazy, but it's still not terrible. If you look and see, there's areas, but there's not like long threads. It is fuzzy, but there's not like huge long threads because I don't carry too far. Did I just lose my needle there? No. Okay. Sandy says she likes a mixture of tent and full. Yeah, I like full cross too. I just don't think I like it on 25 count that much. My chat screen's not moving at all, which is a bit strange. Myla says, I've been working on Golden Reflections by Lee Bogle, and I'm in a very confetti heavy area that instead of only taking a month to do the page, it's some now on my 3rd month on the same page. Oh, I know what that feels like. I think this light is a bit too bright for me. I know how that feels, that it takes forever to get anywhere. There's a page on this one way down on the bottom left of this chart that I've been avoiding like the plague because I know it's got all the, I don't know if you can see my little square picture in the corner there. It's just like a little garden of flowers, and every stitch was a different colour. And I've just been avoiding it. I know I have to get to it at some point, but that some point I'm trying to stretch out as long as possible. So what I was doing with this one is I'm trying to finish this page and try to do that by the end of this month, which I think I should be able to. But after what happened with my foot, I'm never actually gonna, say it. I'm never going to confirm anything for real because stuff happens. So yeah, should be able to finish this page by the end of the month. I'll have to go. So when these people come up and start working on my floors, I'm going to have to go into the bedroom and stitch in there. So I'm going to look like, I'm going to look like this little old lady sitting in the bedroom doing her cross stitch. Well, I hope not. I hope I don't look like that. But I've left myself. So what I've been doing here is actually, I know I'm doing cross country, but I'm also doing color completing because you can see all these little red dots. So I filled it up with this, not red. Is that pink or purple? I'm seeing it as pink. Sometimes I get pink and purple mixed up. So all these little red, oh, I keep saying red, pink. I think I'm going colorblind. The little pink stitches, we'll just stick to pink. Now I've forgotten what I was saying. Right, stream's ended. I have to start again. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh my goodness. I think it wasn't just my foot that was affected a few days ago. Okay, so not just doing cross country, but I'm also trying to fill in the area with one color. Now, I don't know if that saves time, but it does mean that I have to stop, end the thread, go somewhere else, do a ninja, end the thread, go somewhere else, do another couple of them, end the thread, goes. Does that actually save more time doing it the color complete way than it does just sort of doing that typewriter method? I think the typewriter method might be quicker, but then you might have to be swapping your thread more that way. Because if you're in a heavy confetti area and you have to pick the first symbol on the left, that might only have like 2 stitches. Then you have to go back up and pick the next symbol. That might have only 1 stitch. Then you have to go back up, pick the next symbol, which might have a few more, so on, so on. So you don't really have that much control over the color you're using with the typewriter. Whereas with the color completion, you have more control. I think I said that right. I hope that makes sense. So in a minute, this chat screen is just going to go blue, and all the words are going to come up in one big swoop. Meanwhile, she'll just continue chatting to herself. So guys, I know you're stitching. I know you're stitching. But keep talking. So I don't have to do a lot of counting here at the moment because, yeah, I'm doing that color completing business at the moment, which is going well enough. I don't really think too much about which direction I'm going in. I just pick one and go. I used to sit there going, oh, should I go up? Should I go down? Should I go left? Should I go right? Because I'm a very indecisive person. And now it's just keep moving, or whichever's the most convenient. So now I'm going to go up, I think. Kind of be so happy when this piece is done because I feel like, I don't know, like I need to move on, you know that feeling like I need to move on. But I still got, actually, if I was to do 650 stitches a day, this one would be done by the end of the year. But I don't think I can do 650 a day on one piece. I think it would drive me insane. So I think I should just stick to working maybe this one page at a time and continue to be patient and just enjoy it. But I think when I get to that confetti square, I'm not going to enjoy that one so much. Now, I don't think I'm going to flip my work around today because I've got a feeling that it might bump the camera. And I have painstakingly tried to get my overhead camera to behave itself. Woo says, the piece I'm doing is very light colours in places. Who knew stitching light colours could be so hard? Oh my God, yeah, tell me about it. I'm actually thinking now, when I start looking at charts for the future, I might actually knock off charts that have light stitches. And that's probably silly because so many of them do have some patches of light colours somewhere at least. But doing this bit round here, these very light yellows mixed up with cream colours, that really was doing my head in. I just couldn't I couldn't see them. I couldn't see the stitches that I hadn't done. I had to keep poking the canvas with my needle to see if there was thread in it. So the typewriter method, the cross-country method, is difficult when you've got light colours because you're going to miss a stitch somewhere, I think. Well, I do. I miss a stitch. So I have to go in really close to see if there is actually a stitch in there or not. I think I'm going to end this thread now somewhere. I don't know where to end it now because I've got this scatter of stitches everywhere. I guess I'll just do it anywhere where I can find an empty hole. I mean, normally I've been flipping it over and ending at the back. I've just been finding it much neater. Now, need to get a new one. Susan says, I'm doing a really heavy confetti piece and started with cross country. I got so confused. Yeah, it's confusing. I don't actually enjoy crazy amounts of confetti. I'll do it, but I do grumble a bit. You can ask my husband. And what I think I do is I just don't do it for too long. I do a little bit and then I swap to an area that doesn't have as much confetti, or I'll do a little bit and then I'll switch it out for something else. And then like that, I actually get it done, but I get it done on a more slow, you know, it'll be slower, but then it's slow to do confetti, to do crazy confetti anyway. So yeah, I guess it depends on the day and the mood and what kind of a stitching day it's going to be, because some days I can't even bring myself to do a confetti piece, and other days I'm all for it. I don't know what constitutes those kind of mood swings, but it's not something you can just instantly switch on or off. I think moods just come and go for different things. Right, I'm not having a good needle threading day today. My threads today feel a little bit floppy. Do you ever get those days when your threads feel floppy and they just won't go into the eye of the needle? And then other days they're like really, you know, perky and straight. They just go straight in. What is that about? Even our flosses have got mood swings. Who would have thought? Susan's changed to typewriter and so has Sarah changed to typewriter. Do you know what? I like typewriter, but I think you've got less control. Am I right? You've got less control over which symbols you're going for, obviously, because I know you've got control over when you're coming down and you just follow a path, but because you have to go up next and choose another symbol, I don't know, it just seems to create, sometimes it can create more gaps instead of you purposefully finding the gaps that you want to find and filling those in. With the typewriter, it's down to whatever colour you've got on your needle. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But I think I should try it. I do go back up and sort of work down, up and down, but I don't necessarily pick the next symbol that's available. I might go and pick a different one for a different reason. Maybe because there's only two stitches of that colour and I just want to be done with that colour. Woo says that's what I do, like the material, and if my family are here, I'm like, don't talk to me and don't look at me. In fact, no one breathe, and they can go on mum's, and they go on mum's using light colours again. Oh, that is funny. Yeah. Well, you know, I use my stitching also as a form of escape. I'm sure many of us do. When you're having a bad time, or you're going through a bad, stressful period, stuff is going on, family stuff is going on, anything work related, illnesses in the family, all that stuff that keeps you awake at night. I bring it to my stitching, and I just, try to find a calm space, do my stitching. Sometimes I feel like I'm just going over all the stuff in my head again and again and again. So then I'll watch FlossTube or something on YouTube, and I'll try not to think about stuff, because the more you overthink, everything gets 10 times worse. Wait a minute. I didn't choose a very long thread here. Why did I do that? So yeah, I find it is a little bit of a form of escape from the daily, stuff that goes on. When you hit those, oh, I told you I can't thread today. When you hit those points in life when you just can't do anything but wait for something to resolve, or I don't know, waiting for people, whatever it is, stitching passes the time. Do you know what? This thread hates me. I think it's going to go in a second if it doesn't behave. Now I've just put lipstick on my thread. Yay! Well, it's the same colour as these pink stitches, so it should all blend in. Laurie says, I'm now pulling out my oldest whip to stitch. It is close to finish, but I lose my sojo at this point. Yeah, I that happened to me with, I forget what it's called now, and it's right behind me. My Lisa Parker piece. It was the first Haid that I did. And I got close to the end, and then I just put it down and couldn't pick it up again. And I don't know why, even, because I was dying to finish it. My husband said, why don't you just finish it? And I said, I don't know. I actually have no idea. I just don't want to. Or I was bringing it out and doing like 5 stitches, putting it away. And I still, to this day, I don't know what it is about why I didn't want to finish it. It must be a psychological thing, obviously, but I don't know what it means. Whether it's that I was enjoying it so much I didn't want to put it down, or was it, I don't know. It just seemed weird. But I was doing that. But I think I didn't have that problem with the second one I did. I was quite happy to go ahead and finish it. Yeah. We need a full coverage therapist to answer all these questions. Wonder where we can find one of those. Just a whip therapist. I'll be the first to study to be a therapist for stitches. Oh. Tracy says, I stitch wherever the wind blows in different areas, usually 100 to 200 block areas, fill in as I wish. Yeah, that's the best kind of stitching. I really like that, and I've been prancing around quite a bit on my battle um, Sal. I've been doing that. I'm going over here. No, I'm going to go over there. Oh, I fancy going right down there. You know, anywhere and everywhere. Maybe that's just the way that piece talks to me, I guess. I think sometimes your pieces can kind of tell you where they want you to go. I know they're not conscious things, but they do kind of speak to you. They kind of say, you should do this up here or that down there. Or But yeah, I think it's been about, how long has it been now? 5 years since I started stitching, and I'm obviously addicted, my husband thinks. So I do have to remember to try to include other things in my life, if possible. But yeah, I don't like anybody telling me you shouldn't stitch, or you shouldn't be stitching, or you should stitch this or that. No, that doesn't go down well. Neither does it go down well telling me that it's a waste of time, because that really irritates the hell out of me, because I do with my time what I want to do with my time, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, and as long as I'm getting stuff done, food is on the table, bills are paid, everybody's happy, I'm hobbling around doing the household chores with a bad foot, I've earned my right to sit down and stitch. What do you guys say? I just don't like people telling me what to do. I'm just that kind of person. The only person that can tell me what to do is the guy who's giving me CPR, or runs to my aid if I'm in an accident. Whatever he says, I will do. But everybody else, no. Rivers Love says, I'll just choose an area and go wherever. I just went off track there, didn't I? I don't know what I was talking about. I'll just choose an area and go wherever the thread takes me until the next stitch is too far to carry. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That does make sense. I'm also trying to hey Misty, gonna come say hello. Oh no, I can't shut the door now because I'm sitting over here. Come here, Misty. Oh, we have a little visitor. Say hi to the people. Sorry, I can't help kiss her when I pick her up. Now, don't you knock everything aside, because I can't put it back together again. We'd have to end the stream. About a little. Oh, she likes a little scratch. So we have to have a pause in stitching so that we get a little scratch under the chin. There. She's looking like a real fluff ball today because I have brushed her. Haven't you? You had a brush. Well, you get brushed most days, don't you? Listen to this moaning. This is not a cat moan. This is like a human moan. She goes, That's a human moan, isn't it? Not like a sweet little kitty cat that goes, wah. It's more like a Okay, Susan, thank you for dropping by and chatting with us. Because she's not trying to get down, that's a first. She must be sleepy. Be sleepy. Okay, we can't do this for too long, Misty, because there's people waiting for me to stitch. Goodness me. It's not a stitch with me now, it's a scratch the cat's chin with me. Sorry, guys. But she seems to really be enjoying this, so I Okay, we can carry on with this later. Let's do we can. Can I carry on? A little bit longer. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Good girl. Good girl. You're the reason I sneeze all day long. It's not really a moan, is it? It's a half a moan. Half a moan. Okay, well, that's the longest you've been on camera, so you're practically famous now. I'll let you go down. Don't knock my things over. Do I really have to let you out? Excuse me, guys. She wants out, probably to want to come back in. Okay. We'll have to give it 10 minutes and she'll be crying to get back in again. Oh my goodness, I thought that was never going to end. Now there's hairs all over me. Oh, Mila, yes, she's definitely not a baby anymore. She must be about 3 years old. Yeah, because we kind of got her when we moved in. So yeah, she's an apartment cat. Now she's going to go and pester my husband to feed her, even though she's like been fed. She's just very greedy. She's a greedy cat. I didn't choose a very long thread here. I don't know why I didn't do that. How many stitches have I done? Oh gosh, I haven't been marking them off. I'll have to do that later. But they're all the same colour, so that won't be difficult, marking them off. So it's really nice now, the way that the sun is going down much later and it's really nice and bright outside, because I was finding that the days were so short that for me it does bring my mood quite low some days when it's just like dark at 3 p.m. and you've only had like 4 hours of sunlight. Yeah, I think I'm one of those people that it does affect mentally, and I have to try extra hard to stay cheerful, to stay, enthusiastic, maybe. Especially when we've got like storms and all that sort of thing. It's not great for some people. The only good thing about living on a top floor, well, one of the good things living on a top floor of a building is that you're not likely to get flooded when there is a big storm and floods and things. Right, I'm gonna end this thread again, try to thread another one. I'm not doing well with the threading today. Just get this last one here. So I am doing I was going to say leap start, that doesn't make sense. I am doing the loop start, which I kind of miss when if I'm doing the 1/1. I know there is a pin stitch way that you can do I'm not doing 1/1 very often now, but I do miss the two strand. I would miss the 2-strand loop start if I went to doing everything with 1 strand, let's say. My threads are challenging me today. Solar Wind says Scotland is 6 hours ahead of us. Is it about 8:15? Yes, you're correct. It is 8:19 according to my clock. 6 hours ahead. So it's still morning for you over there. I think I'll move over to this side. I'm not sure whether to continue on the second page on the right, the next page on the right, or to go down and work on one of the pages below this line. I haven't decided that yet. I think I'm going to go and see on the chart how badly confetti it is. And then I'll make a decision, because it might be crazy and then I'll just come back up here where it's not so crazy. I mean, I can't keep putting it off forever. I have to get and doing those pages at some point. Otherwise, this thing is not going to get done, right? If I just keep avoiding those pages that I've got all the foliage and plants and everything. Sometimes it's kind of put me off doing trees, because this tree on here was so big and slightly laborious. I just thought, I'm never doing anything again that has a tree in it. But that's not true, because I've got loads of charts that have a tree or some kind of tree or something like that. So I don't believe what I tell myself any longer. I say, I'm not going to do X again, and then I just go and do it. Why do we do that kind of thing? Thanks for stopping by, Sarah. It's really lovely to be able to stitch with you in real time. You've got so many lovely pieces that you're working on. Can you believe how quickly time flies and the months are disappearing and we're already coming into May? Oh my goodness, we're already coming into May. And has anybody got plans for May, or are you just going to continue on the same vein that you've been going? Are you switching projects or working on different things? Laurie says, head for that red umbrella. Oh yeah, that's true. I could go back and finish that red umbrella. That's like one page down from this one. Could do that. Be nice to get, I think I've got half an umbrella down the bottom. Could get that done. Don't know if I'm going to stay stitching this one tonight, but I could try and zip through these one color sections. I don't know. I'll see how I feel after my dinner, what kind of mood I'm in. Yesterday, I was watching a little bit of the Runner Stitcher. I don't know how many of you have watched his videos, and he's just started a huge big full coverage, but he's decided that he's not going to tell anybody what it is. It's a mystery stitch. I just think that's so fantastic that he's starting this huge piece, and he started it. Well, I watched it yesterday. I don't remember when the video came out. He started in the top right corner, and it was so fantastic to see the whole process from kitting up to the fabric. He was even ironing the fabric and then, settling down into a stitchy spot and then doing the first little corner, which I think was mostly browns, so I wouldn't hazard a guess as to what the chart is. But it's so big, and it was 25 count that he's using. It's so big. He's such a lovely guy, isn't he? He really is. He's so humble and personable. I really love him. And he's doing, if you ever listen to this, Andrew, I think you're fantastic. um, and he's just such a lovely character. And then he's doing this top right corner, and he was doing mostly browns. I was thinking, do I know any supersized charts or anything that have like browns in the top right corner? What a question. Like, how are we going to know? How many charts have got brown colors in the top right corner? I was thinking, is he doing the library of cats? Maybe. Does he have, he doesn't have a cat. He has a dog. I don't know if he likes cats. But Library of Cats hasn't yet given out the supersized max color. And I think with the size of fabric that he was showing, that is definitely a supersized on a 25 count. So we're looking at something, I don't know, could it be that dragon race? Possibly. But it's so big. It seems bigger than the biggest fabric I've seen people showing. I think it was 1,000 by, oh, I don't know, I can't remember. But if you want to go and see his video, it is so big and it's exciting. I think it's exciting to see the process and also to guess what it is he's actually decided to stitch on. I think that's cool. And he's so patient and everything. He's doing it, I think he's doing rows in a diagonal. I think that was it. And it was so lovely and calming to sit and watch him go through the process and start in the corner and everything. I found that very nice as I was stitching myself. And I was thinking, oh boy, I'd be so overwhelmed with something that size. I just feel like I would love to be able to do something that size, but I always think to myself, am I even going to live long enough? Would I feel, you know, tired of it at some point down the line? I mean, so many questions would come into my mind. I wouldn't have, I think it just boils down to, I don't think I'm brave enough to tackle something that big and actually think that I'd be able to finish it. But I think, like he said, it's not really just about the finishing. It's also about sharing as well, I think. And it's about doing something because you love it, basically, because you enjoy it, not because it's going to take you 10 years or 20 years, but because you're enjoying it. And I was saying to my husband yesterday, he's really on the right track with that, because even if the worst happened and you didn't finish something, is that really the worst thing that would, it's only a piece of fabric at the end of the day. That's what it is. And if you couldn't finish it, if you weren't around to finish it, you wouldn't be crying about it either. So, like, it's not the worst thing in the world to happen, is not being able to finish a piece. And I like the way people have that, I'm just going to do it because I love it attitude. Yeah, I need a bit more of that attitude and less worrying about, I need to be able to finish this, that, and the other. But sometimes I feel like I like to see the progress. So it makes me happy. So I keep plugging away at the same things. But I think as soon as I finish something, I'll be straight into something else. No question. So my whip count's never really going to go down. That's just me fooling myself, because I'm just going to end up slipping something in 10,000 stitches before I finish something. Yeah, so we never really do get that whip count down, do we? Despite thinking that we do. When we finish something, we've already started 3 other things. It's quite funny. And I've still got so many knitting projects to do. Oh gosh, and a couple of crochet ones. Yes, I need 6 or 7, not just lifetimes, but I need more hands and fingers. Sometimes I try to get my husband to do things, but yeah, he's not falling for that one really any longer. The only time he'll actually do something is if I'm upset and I say, oh, I'm so upset, would you stitch with me? And then, just to make me feel better. But yeah, he's all into the games with my son. They're both like gaming mad. That's really what they're into. I don't know if I've actually made a huge amount of progress here or not. Moderate, I'd say. So yeah, it'd be fun to see if any of us, if we watch, whoever watches the Runner Stitch, it'd be fun to see who manages to guess what it is that he's stitching on. I'm sure it'll make itself known pretty soon because there's a lot of stitches out there that can recognize little areas quite efficiently. Gosh, I think my computer's just slowing down now. A little bit like me. So let me get this little corner finished and then I'm going to have to call it a day and go and feed myself. Pretty sure the cat's been fed. And just get on with living life. My foot is not hurting at all, which is a good sign. Can only be a good thing. So let's see, because next week is going to be the busy week because I've got a class and I've also got these people coming up to fix my floors and they're going to be around for a couple of days. So I won't be able to do any lives then because I'm not going to exactly start setting up. That'll just be disrupting them. So might have to wait till the week after. But I might be able to get a stitch with me or something in between. So thank you guys for listening to me waffling on and on. I do appreciate it. I'm sure my husband does too. He gets extra gaming time. Kelly's 1549 says, I'm disappointed in my 28 count. I didn't realise that the higher counts darken the colour of floss. Do they darken the colour of floss? I don't think I've heard that one before. That's interesting. I know that in some of mine, I'm working 1/1 and they don't seem as vibrant as the tint for some reason, but only certain colours. But I mean, I'm not an expert in that, so I wouldn't really know. But 28 is quite small, isn't it? It's quite a small count to begin with. Oh, it takes a lot of experimenting with these counts and flosses. So guys, I think I'm going to hit the road and I'm going to try and get something to eat and possibly come back and do a bit more stitching in front of the TV. Let my family all back into the room. So thank you guys for stopping and chatting with me. I hope you've enjoyed some of the time. And of course I will let you know when I'll be back soon. So enjoy your stitching for the rest of the day and take care of yourselves. It's been lovely. It really has. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I really do appreciate it. And it makes me feel less lonely too. Take care, my friends. Look after yourselves. Love you.